Officially, it's 10 years this year. We have been giving away financial aid since 2012 was the first year we ever wrote our first check. And there was only one check, for clarity. It was the first and only check of that year. And this has always actually been a running thing in the trans community, which is like, at what point does labeling things help or hurt us?
Totally.
And it's like, actually, health insurance doesn't think you're a real person. So they're not going to cover it. So let's not do this, right? People would go out of the country because there wasn't that much here, right? And so like it has grown to the point where now there's lots of providers across many different spectrums of whatever you're looking for. But it's always just the financial barrier of accessing that.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Renee, and I'm a gender-affirming voice teacher. And welcome to Speaking Freely, an interview series about trans voice, trans advocacy, and trans liberation.
I was listening to podcasts. Podcasts are great. Radio's boring.
Today, I'm speaking with Aydian Dowling, co-founder and chief advancement officer of Point of Pride, a nonprofit that's helped over 30,000 trans and gender-expansive people access gender-affirming care. Point of Pride offers financial assistance for surgery, electrolysis, hormone therapy, chest binders, tucking garments, and through their Thrive Fund, everything from name change assistance and fertility preservation to voice training and wigs. We'll be talking about the changing landscape of trans healthcare, what it means to be a community-led organization that listens to what people actually need, and why gender-affirming care is something everyone can relate to, whether you're trans or not. Let's get into it. Hi, Aydian. Thank you so much for joining me on the show today.
Hey, thanks for having me. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. I am approaching the new year with a fresh slate of possibility.
I love that.
How I'm approaching.
That's so good. So we met 2 years ago. Do you remember?
Yes. Wow. Okay. Yes.
Over 2 years ago, I guess now.
Yeah. Time is an illusion, which I really start believing more and more as I get older in life. That's for sure.
Same.
But I believe you.
No, because it wasn't, I don't think it was last year. It was the last time the Philadelphia Trans Wellness Conference used that name, which was 2 years ago.
Yep.
So I know you, and I got to learn all about your work in your presentation at that conference, but I was wondering if you could introduce yourself and what you do to my audience.
Yeah. Hey, everyone. My name is Aydian. My pronouns are he, him. I am the co-founder and chief advancement officer at Point of Pride. And Point of Pride is a 501c3 nonprofit that helps trans and gender diverse folks access healthcare. And that looks like many different things, including surgery and electrolysis and garments and voice coaching or therapy, fertility. I mean, pretty much, anything that you would deem affirming in your identity, we have a program for it.
That's so amazing. And every time I go to your website and read about the services you offer, I learn about gender affirming care that I didn't know was a thing.
Me too. I've been, I started my transition in 2009. And I mean, the world, both externally has changed, right? Like around us, within the community has changed.
Totally.
And so I feel like, there's, I'm constantly learning, and that's because people who need things come to us, and we're like, oh yeah, you know what? That's a great idea, right? Like, let's figure out how to work that in. We can't do everything, but I will say we kind of try. We're just not very successful at doing everything.
No one organization can do everything, but what I love about a trans-led organization like yours is that you listen to what the community wants, and you just go, oh, okay, we'll do our best,
Yeah, I mean, we are here to serve the community, and for us to think that we know what the community needs would be like a disservice,
I love that. I mean, I love that you listen. I think that's so cool. So I've prepared some questions for you today. And basically, Point of Pride has grown so much since its inception. Actually, when did Point of Pride start? How many years have you been working?
So actually, it's a little confusing, but technically, since we filed for our nonprofit status, this is actually our 10th year. So 2026 is our 10th year. So we are celebrating our 10-year anniversary, which is extremely exciting. However, I will say, we were a failing business before we turned nonprofit, because we were giving away all of our proceeds pretty much, and kind of had to have a self-reflecting moment of being like, I don't think I'm good at this business stuff, you know what I mean, in this format. But, officially it's 10 years this year. We have been giving away financial aid since 2012 was the first year we ever wrote our first check. And there was only one check, for clarity. It was the first and only check of that year.
I mean, that's just incredible how long you've been providing this care for people. I read that you have grown to help over 10,000 people access gender-affirming garments, surgeries, and more. And I was wondering what the biggest challenges have been in scaling your programs from that one check in 2012 to everything that you offer now.
Yeah, it's a great question. And it's actually 30,000 people we have served through all of our programs combined.
Right.
And that's one of our program is our garment program, where we offer free tucking garments or chest binding garments. And that's actually the one international program we have. So that's kind of how that number's gotten so large. And I would say the biggest struggle, okay, we're a nonprofit, so I'm just going to pretend that money isn't always a big struggle for any nonprofit,
Sure.
right? It's like how it always is. But I would say, I think the biggest thing is very similar to what we were just talking about, which is just that the landscape is forever changing.
Yeah.
Especially, we are based in the US, right? And so each state has a different set of rules. So really keeping up with the needs of the community mixed in with what is actually available for someone, what is the legal process of getting somebody the care that they need. I would say that's kind of been the biggest hurdle in the last 3 or 4 years is really just assessing the changing landscape, kind of that external, which is the laws and legislation and the state laws, and then also just the needs of the community. So our programs, as you were saying earlier, kind of shift as the needs grow, or as the need is met, we actually also kind of reel back in certain aspects of what's going on too. So really just depends on where everyone is. We kind of assess each program each year to see if there are any tweaks to language or tweaks to the financial need before we actually run the new program of that year.
I love that you're responding to the changing landscape all the time, especially right now with the current administration. I'm sure that's becoming even more challenging.
Yes.
So I am Canadian, and although I think the majority of my viewers are in the US, I do have a substantial number that are international. So I just would love to pin down what kind of services you offer within the US and what kind of services you offer internationally.
So for clarity, I'll run them off. We tried to title them as clear as possible. One is the electrolysis or laser hair removal program, right? Knock that out. One is our garment program, which is the one I mentioned earlier, the tucking garments and the chest binding garments. Then we also have our HRT Access Fund, so our hormone replacement therapy via telehealth. We have our annual trans surgery fund, and then we have our Thrive Fund. All of those programs are here in the US except the garment program. The garment program is where you can apply for either of those garments for totally free. There's no barriers to entry. If you are in financial need and you need one, we believe you and you can apply. I will say, however, we have served lots of international people through our other programs. They have to be here in the US. So a lot of times that looks like a college student who is not a US citizen, does not live in the US, but is here for college, right? And so then we're able to, go through the application process, and they are chosen as a recipient. They're able to then get let's just say it's the surgery fund and they're looking for facial feminization surgery, they can apply. And as long as we do it here in the US, and that's more of like a legal tax money thing. So any international people who are listening, if you are close to the US and you can get here, you can apply for any of those programs. If you are looking for a chest binder or tucking garment, you can apply with no thoughts or worries. Otherwise, you do have to get your procedure here in the US.
But this might be different for the Thrive Fund, right? Because I know that there are some, maybe this is just more confusion, but the Thrive Fund, as you were just saying, offers like all manner of gender-affirming care outside of what the other programs offer, right? Including gender-affirming voice care and a bunch of other things. I had a list. What else does the Thrive Fund offer? Maybe you could tell us.
So the Thrive Fund we created, I think its inaugural year was 2024. So it's very new and we are continuously learning. So always, as you iterate, you are learning things. So the Thrive Fund was our response to people saying like, I'm trans, but like, what if I don't want surgery? What if I don't want to go on hormones? Like, or being like, I'm trans and actually the thing that would make me feel the most affirmed in who I am is my name change, right? Or I want to start hormones, but I can't save for fertility treatment. Or, right, like I'm actually lucky enough that I work at a job and my health insurance covers my hormone replacement therapy, but I cannot answer my work phone because my voice, right? So like all of these different things that are outside, wigs, prosthetics, all of these other things. Like I did not know I am bald, so I don't know much anymore about hair. I've lost all of my hair. I used to have good hair. Every bald person says that, I know that, but you can believe me when I tell you that one. But I didn't know how expensive wigs were. Like a good quality wig can be like $1,500, $2,200. And I'm like, what?
That is wild. Yeah.
It's crazy. And so all of these things cost money. And so the Thrive Fund was our response of like, hey, we don't want to tell you what is gender affirming care, right? So here's a program where you tell us, what is gender affirming care to you? Is it getting your name changed? Is it getting your passport? Is it getting, having a voice coach? Like, what is gender affirming care to you? Let us know, make a case for yourself of how this will improve your life. You know what I mean? And why, you are in a financial need a financial aid program. And we're open to it. So yes, so if you are international, you can also look into that program to see, if you need a wig, we could probably get you one, right? If you need voice coaching, you live somewhere else, we could probably make that happen for you, right?
Okay, so even people outside of the US can apply to the Thrive Fund, as long as they're accessing care that's not like, I don't know, that doesn't have to go through insurance or something.
Yeah, so I mean, the way that we do it is if you have a need and you don't live in the US, you should still apply.
Okay,
because the landscape is always changing. There are tons of workarounds on ways in which we can access care, right? And help you get care. Before where you live, I always think about who you are, right? So on the website, it's like, what type of privileges do you have? If you have that corporate job, I'm not saying you don't need financial aid, but maybe sit and reflect, like, do I need financial aid? Or am I just like, do I just need to wait maybe 3 years of savings and I can get what I need, right? Everyone deserves the care they want and they deserve it when they want it. And we don't live in a world at this moment where that can happen, right?
Yeah.
So I always think of those type of things. It's like, think of that first and then think of where you live second. And if you feel like, hey, you know what? I qualify on both of these levels, you should 100% apply.
Makes total sense. Yeah, because a need I've heard from the international community a lot in my YouTube comments and in my DMs and stuff is that a lot of the service providers are in the US and they charge in US dollars. And even me, like I'm in Canada, but because like 95% of my customers are in the US, I charge in US dollars as well. And as a result, people with a weaker currency, like people in Brazil or people in Pakistan or something, like they can't afford my services. So like my dream, if I'm putting this into the universe right now, is to have prorated rates for my courses so that it changes depending on the strength of the buyer's currency. That's my dream for 2026.
That's very cool. That's very cool. There's got to be a developer out there who can make a little conversion something.
I got
You
a
know
few
what I
leads.
mean?
I'm working on a few.
Yeah.
Working
I
on
believe in
trying.
you. This can
Thank you.
happen.
Yeah. So because of that, like I can see how people in, outside of the US struggle to afford a wig, say, if the only wig providers are in the US, because it's just the size of the country. There's so much more gender affirming care providers there than in other places. I've also learned this through like my teacher training program. Like when I teach other vocal providers how to do gender affirming voice care, they're often like, I'm the only one in Italy. You know what I mean? Like there just are so few providers of gender affirming care outside of the US. So I could see people from abroad like coming to the US for this kind of care.
Yeah. It's funny too, because, when I was growing up as a young trans, it was kind of the opposite. People would go out of the country because there wasn't that much here, right? And so like it has grown to the point where now there's lots of providers across many different spectrums of whatever you're looking for. But it's always just the financial barrier of accessing that. It's tough. And, one kind of thing we always say is like, everyone deserves healthcare, like whole body healthcare.
Period.
Yeah, period. Like there's nothing else to the sentence. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, okay. I have so many other questions for you, but I have one that I didn't put on my list here, and that is, I don't know if you heard about these binder makers in the US getting emails from the FDA or something.
Correct.
Did you hear about this story? Were you impacted by this?
Yeah, so unfortunately we did hear about the story. We have some inside leads, and we got notification a little bit before it all dropped.
So you work with these binder makers, right?
Yes, so we work with about 5 different binder manufacturers, and they are all trans-owned, and not all of them are in the U.S., but I think, like, let's say if there's 5 of them, 3 of them are in the U.S. And so, yeah, they got this letter saying that the language in which these websites are saying it is that they're saying it can, quote unquote, treat like dysphoria and treat and so they're saying that's medical. This is a medical device.
My haircut treats gender dysphoria too.
I know. And this has always actually been a running thing in the trans community, which is like, at what point does labeling things help or hurt us?
Totally.
And in this case, it can, because a lot of times people are like, let's get it as a medical device because then health insurance will cover it. And it's like, actually, health insurance doesn't think you're a real person. So they're not going to cover it. So
Yikes.
Let's not do this, right?
Yeah.
So at this point, we have not been impacted. We do a lot of like proactive care in our world of language. So like we have made sure that our stuff does not say anything about medical stuff. It doesn't allude to treating anything. We've really stayed away from that language. We call them gender affirming garments.
Not devices
not devices. We don't claim that they will do anything for you, right?
Yeah.
Like you say you need them because they will help you. We believe that they'll help you, and that's it, right? So we've kind of been able to stay off of the radar. However, I mean, sometimes I don't know how we have stayed off the radar.
Same. I feel that's very relatable. And I think we've spoken about this. Like, I don't use the term voice therapy because I'm not a therapist. I'm not a speech language pathologist. I have a music pedagogy background in specializing in voice, but I'm not a doctor, And unfortunately, it means I can't take insurance. People ask me all the time if I can take insurance. But what it also means is that I am not in danger of like losing my standing or not being able to provide. I'm just a humble merchant offering my product. And also I'm Canadian. So I feel like I can be more bold than like US providers because, I don't know, the CIA is not gonna start monitoring my phone calls. Or maybe they are, but they can't. I'm over here,
Hey, if you're listening.
But it's tough in these streets. I feel like providers like me, and then I don't know if you consider yourself a provider or if you just consider yourself like a connector to providing, but we have to like kind of stay on our toes and wonder like, when is our day coming? You know?
Yeah. We do not identify as a provider. We are we're the financial conduit, right? Like we're the person where you're like, oh, like we'll pay your tab. If we've made a commitment to pay your tab, we will pay your tab.
That's
you
nice.
know what I mean? But it's I've sat on conversations with healthcare providers of just like, I don't know what we are, but we're in this mix. We're in it. We just don't have like a particular title in it. You know what I mean? Because we do have to be aware. And at any given time, we're caring for over 400 people on any given day.
Wow.
We've made financial commitments to people that must be upheld. And if we find out that we can't uphold something because of a law or whatever, we want to be the first people to tell them, not them scrolling through the Instagram or TikTok and finding out that they've got their care revoked or something like that.
Horrible.
Yeah.
But speaking of this like changing landscape, what is the most urgent need right now that you're seeing in your day to day?
I would say the Thrive Fund itself has picked up a lot because people are realizing that getting their gender markers changed is really important.
Right.
Making sure that all of their documents are in order is very important. A lot of people might live in states where you can't change your birth certificate, the name or the gender marker. I mean, most of these cases now, again, when I was younger, I just went to the court and I was like, I want a name change. And they made me fill out a piece of paper. And I went to one judge and they were like, go down the hall. That's the person who will help you out. So I went down the hall. I never met the judge, but then I had to pay like $300 to put it in the newspaper for 2 weeks. And that was it. Yeah, to say that I was changing my name for debt purposes. Now
Sounds quaint, actually.
Yeah, right. Now you have to hire a lawyer. Like, you really can't get it done properly. I mean, I'm sure you can. I'm sure there's smart, capable people. But the reality is like, you don't want to mess it up. And so you have to hire a lawyer to do this type of stuff. And so that is, I mean, when I think about under our umbrella, right, the most pressing need for a lot of people is like safety. What is that? What is safety? That could be getting your name changed. That could be you take the bus and you work a 9 to 5. And at the 5:30 bus home, you've got a 5 o'clock shadow and you are now in danger, right? So that could be laser hair removal, right? All of these things could be that. Also, I think a lot of times it's like the mental safety. So we think a lot about physical safety in the outside world, but at Point of Pride, we think a lot about mental safety too. So like, how are you mentally, like internally feeling safe? And a lot of times that is like people who work customer service jobs, people who have to be on the phone a lot, people who have to care for other people, right? And so it's like, okay, how do we make you feel when you pick up the phone, like, and you're talking to someone, they're not like sirring you or mamming you or any of the above in you that you don't, and you're doing that over and over and over and over, so just really thinking about the safety, both externally and internally, definitely top of the priority list.
And I just have a question about the Thrive Fund. It sounds like really open. Like if somebody came to you and said, I need a webcam so that I can take online voice therapy sessions, would that be something that qualifies?
Yeah, I mean, I think at the end of the day, like, Thrive Fund is about whatever care looks like to you, right? And so, like, even with electrolysis, sometimes people will be like, listen, my insurance will cover bottom surgery, but I cannot pay the $4,000 bill I need to have electrolysis on that area, because you have to have that first, right? So I think that when it comes to Thrive Fund, you know what that care is, and we can't, I don't think we would ever say, No, it's much more, it's not even so much about what you're looking for. It's much more about your story and
Yeah.
who you are and why you need it and what's going to help, right? And so whenever I talk to people about who want to apply, I'm always like, take your time. We give you a whole month so you can read the questions at the beginning of the month, you can write them down, you can think about them, right? Like, unfortunately, this is the only way we're going to get to know you.
Right.
And you don't have to be a scholar. You don't have to be able to spell right. If you speak a different language, you can write in that language. Full transparency, we will use just like a translation device.
Sure.
So, but we do our best. We don't hold it against you pretty much, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you answer a question and you're just like, this will be really helpful, I don't have anything to do, like I can't build a picture of who you are and how that will be helpful. What does that mean, right? Like some people are like, I have a kid and I can't even hug my child because I have, like G cup breasts and
Right.
I need to have them removed, right?
Yeah,
and it's
yeah.
okay, that puts me in your body for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
So really thinking about that type of stuff when it comes to the Thrive Fund, tell us your story. Think about it. Give yourself the time to write it out. If you have a friend, have your friend read it. This is our only touch point to you before we begin, scoring and going through all of the applications. It's like, let me really understand who you are so that we can get a better vision of what this need is to you. And then I can see how that need helps. Does that make sense?
It makes total sense. And I think that even people who are not trans can relate to like the extraneous costs of healthcare. Like I have chronic pain and chronic illnesses. And even me, like I went to the doctor for knee pain and they were like, actually you have to go see a specialized physiotherapist and a special private podiatrist. So I'm out of pocket $300 because I didn't healthcare hard enough before I went to my doctor to talk about my knee. And that is like normal. Like your gym membership, nope, that's not gonna be covered. And so people who are not trans know that like your healthcare, eating right and exercising and everything else that supports your body is expensive. And I think we both share like a utopian version of healthcare. Like it would be best if all of our preventative needs were just met and we didn't have to create Point of Pride to like get these things met. You know what I mean?
100%. Our goal is to like not be here,
Preach.
right? Like my goal
Mine
is to
too.
be like, can I just get another job? Like what else? My worry is like, I'm texting my friends. I'm like, listen, I need a job. You know what I mean? And it's sad because it's like, as you said, it feels so dystopian. Like it feels so hard to imagine that actually happening. And it's also, like I said at the beginning of the call, it's like, I have to approach the year as another opportunity.
Yes, same.
Otherwise you'll max out and we need to be like you probably know this. What is it in a choir where one person needs to take a breath and the other person is singing and you sing at the same time? What's that called?
Staggered breathing.
Staggered breathing. We need like some staggered self-care up in here.
Yes.
Where like if you need a break, I got you.
I got you. Mm-hmm.
Right, exactly.
100%. So if people want to apply for these programs, when does that open?
Yeah, so the Thrive Fund particularly, since that's the one we were talking about in this moment, that is open for the entire month of August. You have one opportunity each year to apply for a fund. It's open for at a minimum 1 month. Sometimes they're open for 6 weeks. So they're open at different times. So what's upcoming next will be our electrolysis and laser hair removal. That will be opening at the end of January into February. Then we have our HRT Access program, which will be May into June. Then we have the Thrive Fund, which is August. Then we have the Annual Trans Surgery Fund, which is all of November. You don't have to remember these things.
There will be links below.
And also you could just go to our page, pointofpride.org, and then you just go and you can sign up and we'll send you an email. And when you sign up, you're not signing up for the newsletter or anything else. You are just signing up to be notified. Like it's opening in 5 days. It's open today. It closes in 5 days. It's closed tomorrow type of
Got it.
vibes.
Love that. So I've decided to call this particular year's series of interviews that I'm doing Speaking Freely. And so the last question I wanted to ask you is, if you were to speak freely about gender-affirming care, what's one thing that you want non-trans people to know who might be listening to this?
That's so many things. I have
I
to
know.
pick one. Okay. I think I cannot say this in an articulate, well, concise way, but I will do my best. So whatever I do, just know I'm trying.
Sure.
I think that people just categorize gender affirming care as something so far removed from them when they're cisgender. And I think that I think everyone needs to remember that we have this label gender affirming care, but what we're really labeling it is like, I just want to feel good as who I am. And for some people, that means they go to the gym. And some people are like, I could care less about the gym, right? Like, bring me to the gym and I'm not happy. Some people love to wear really flashy clothes. And some people are like, sweatpants, sweatshirt, I'm there, my vibe. Don't put one glittery sparkle anywhere on my body, right? And I feel like people just need to equate that a little bit more with gender affirming care versus thinking like, oh, gender affirming care, it's a surgery, right? Oh, it's hormones. It's only that if you don't like the shell you're in, right? Like, it's only that if you have a mismatch, right? Like,
And also, sorry to interrupt speaking freely
Yeah,
moment, but
yes.
like also non-trans people get surgeries and take hormones all of the time.
exactly, right? So it's not just like only trans people, right?
Mhm.
And it's not even, it's like there's a, there's a linear path of like, some people like their nails painted, some people don't, some people want their breast tissue removed, and some people don't, right? Like, I just feel like you're very lucky if you don't feel you need surgical intervention or hormones. Like, what a blessing that is for you, right? And there are some people who are like, oh my God, waking up is hard because I need this care. So I feel like if we just, I don't know the right way to say it. Like, I don't know, like a one-liner to like hit someone with, but I'm working on it, because I feel like we just have to bring the idea of gender affirming care to just more of like a base level. You know what I mean? So that people can relate a little bit closer to it, and then understand the extreme of like, oh wow, like, yeah, like oh my gosh, imagine if I need the surgery. That would be so stressful. Like, oh,
Absolutely.
they're like, have more compassion for those people who need that stuff.
Mhm.
Does this make any sense?
It does. What I'm hearing is that cis people think that the conversation around gender affirming care isn't about them, but they're a part of the continuum. And if they needed, cosmetic dental care to feel good about their smile, they can relate to what it's like to want top surgery. Like, it's really that simple.
Yeah, just want to take a picture and see yourself looking back at you. That's all you're
Exactly.
looking for. Yeah.
Exactly. Well, I'm really, really grateful for the work that you do, Aydian, and the care that you help people access. And I'm really grateful that you came here to talk to me about it today.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I love all of your work. I know we've worked together. I know we'll continue to work together.
Definitely.
But yeah, I think this is as you said, at some point, like, no one can do it all. And so when we work together and we have these great relationships and we can share, it's really helpful for both of us, and especially just getting our message out there to help more people. So thanks so much for having me on and giving me some space to speak freely.
Thank you so much. And I'm looking forward to our paths crossing again in the future. Thank you so much to Aydian for joining me today and sharing the incredible work Point of Pride is doing. If you want to learn more about their programs or apply for financial assistance, head to pointofpride.org. You can also follow them on social media to stay updated on application windows and their 10th anniversary celebrations this year. Everything is linked below.
Click, damn it, click!
If this conversation resonated with you, please consider supporting Point of Pride's work, whether that's through donation, sharing their programs with people who might benefit, or simply helping spread the word that everyone deserves access to healthcare. And thanks so much for listening to Speaking Freely. That's all for today. I've been Renee, and I hope this helps. Can you believe this is like the 15th time we've done this?
That is wild.
or 13, I don't know how many times. I love that the prompter feels like it's going so fast, even though I know in like half a second, I'll be like, can you speed it up? Speed it right up.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't turn it down, it's fine.
Let's go.
Oh my God, I'm so tired.